Alright folks, welcome to Season 4. Ultimately, Enhancement has not seen a ton of change here, specifically in the Mythic Plus space. The class is in a really healthy condition. We're going to touch on our builds here first off. So the recommended covenant that I'm going to actually suggest you roll with is actually going to be Necrolord for this specific spec going into Season 4. If you're going with Necrolord and more of this funnel build, you're going to go with exactly what's on the screen here. Tier 1, Lashing Flames. Tier 2, Hot Hand. Tier 3, you can go with Spirit Wolf or Static Charge. I like having an AoE stun. Actually, I'm underselling that. I love having an AoE stun. Static Charge is my choice. Tier 4, Fire Nova. Tier 6, Nature's Guardian. Tier 7, Sundering. Tier 6 Sundering, Tier 7 Elemental Spirits. Now there's some play to be had here. Windrush Totem can be helpful depending on your group composition. Ultimately, that's the story with where Enhancement Shaman is right now. Group composition is entirely going to dictate our overall health, to be honest. We can actually be really viable if we're paired up with, hey, hook us up with a warrior, hook us up with a monk, hook us up with a demon hunter. Like, put us around some specs that, yeah, do a little bit of physical damage, a little bit of magic damage, and that will really benefit from our beautiful Wind Fury totem. I'm not going to say bring a ret, because rets are just the bottom of the barrel right now in terms of Mythic Plus. But let's not bash rets today. Hopefully there's some light at the end of that tunnel. Catch the pun. Alright, now the other builds that you can consider that are out there, if you want to go with kind of away from the Necrolord build and want to go with the Venthyr build, Tier 1 you go Lashing Flames, Tier 2 you go Hot Hand, Tier 3 you're into more of that Static Charge build, Tier 4 you are sticking with Fire Nova, Tier 6 yeah, then you're kind of up in the air if you want to go with Windrush or Nature's Guardian. Tier 7 sticks with Sundering as well, and then Tier 7 you go Elemental Spirits. Now this can change up a little bit, and the only time you can do this is if you want to proceed with Venthyr and use the Doomwind's legendary, and if that's the case, you're actually going to flip a few of these. So Tier 1 becomes Forceful Winds, Tier 2 becomes Storm Fury. Tier 3, you can go a Static Charge still. Tier 4, you're actually going to go with Hailstorm. Tier 6, stick with Nature's Guardian. Tier 7, Sundering. Tier 8, Elemental Spirits. This gives you a bit of a sexy play with Doom Winds. But again, Doom Winds, you're only going to roll with this legendary if you have basically uncapped AoE damage and you are just looking to push aggressively and get the biggest pulls that your group, whether it's your tank or your healer, can ultimately support. So yeah, Forceful Winds, use it together with Doom Winds and use the build that's on your screen. Alternatively, like that's not going to be our base recommendation here. Probably stick with Primal Lava Actuators. It's really the best option from a damage perspective, especially if you're pairing it with that Necrolord build. So ultimately, if you can remember, that was really the only changes there, and then between Static Charge or Spirit Wolf. That's the biggest thing we're seeing here is in terms of going into Season 4. Enhancement can be really great, but it needs to be paired up with the right compositions that will really benefit from Wind Fury. Then it's a real complementary hybrid class that brings great utility. So don't rule out Enhancement from your group just yet, but just really reflect on who you're planning on doing the run with, and ultimately then make some calls from there. That's it for now, folks. Like we mentioned earlier, we are in a great spot here for the most part. We're going to try to keep the fun happening with Enhancement for a little bit longer. and we'll just wait and see what the future holds for this spec. Ultimately, we're in a lot better shape than where we were when we first came into the season, so I'm excited. Let me know your thoughts down below of where Shaman is today. Thanks, folks. Peace.